How's it going, everyone? My name is Jared and you are watching 10 Crazy Metal Facts. Number 1. Black Sabbath. Although Black Sabbath is argued to be the first heavy metal band, their thick and sludgy tone is in part the result of a factory accident where Tony Iommi lost the tips of his fingers on his right hand. Iommi states that he was put to work on a machine with not knowing at all how it worked, and while sliding metal into the machine, it slammed down on his right hand, chopping off the tips of his fingers. It was this accident that made him reinvent his style of playing, which many people today call heavy metal. Looking back on the event, Tony says it was a horrible accident that actually turned out to be a good thing. See, sometimes bad things can have a good turnout. Sometimes. Number 2. GAAHL. In 2002, GAAHL, the former vocalist of Gorgoroth, was fined $27,000 and sentenced to 1 year in prison for torturing a man for several hours. GAAHL proceeded to collect the man's blood into a cup, all the while saying, "I'm going to sacrifice you and drink your blood." But apparently 1 time in jail wasn't enough for GAAHL, because in 2006, only 4 years later, he was sentenced to prison again for torturing a man for 6 hours. GAAHL claims in that incident, though, that he was acting in self-defense for 6 hours. Okay. Number 3. CANINUS. There was a band called CANINUS whose vocalists were 2 female pit bull terriers. It's true. If you watched my first video, you will remember the band called Hatebeak. Well, CANINUS and Hatebeak actually released a split record together. CANINUS has also released a split 7-inch with Cattle Decapitation. Unfortunately, however, one of the pit bulls died in 2011, ending the band's career. So just remember, local bands, these guys were signed, and their vocalists were pit bulls. How does that make you feel? Number 4. Blast beats. Anyone who listens to extreme music has more than likely heard a blast beat before. But who played it first? Many believe that it was the jazz drummer Tony Williams who first played a blast beat, and other people believe it was Billy Joel back in 1969 when he was in his band Attila. There's no relation to the current hardcore project Attila, I assure you. Some other people think that it was played by punk bands who just wanted to play as fast as they possibly could. Napalm Death and the band DRI are also stated to be among the first bands to ever utilize the blast beat technique. I guess no one really knows who played it first, but I think it's safe to say that blast beats don't really belong strictly to metal. Number 5. Upside down cross. The upside down cross is definitely a staple in heavy metal music, even today. Many bands use this symbol to display anarchy or to show their anti-religious beliefs. However, the origin of the upside down cross, or the cross of St. Peter, was actually a Christian Catholic symbol used for many years. The symbol first appears in the Martyrdom of Peter, which is a text script dating back to 200 AD. The text stated that Peter requested to be crucified upside down because he felt unworthy to be crucified in the same way as Jesus Christ. Thus, the symbol was used as a sign of humility. Number 6. OKILLY. There is a Ned Flanders themed band called OKILLY. That's right, the band OKILLY has dedicated their act strictly to Ned Flanders from The Simpsons. Formed last month, the band has racked up almost 30,000 likes on Facebook, and they just played their first show last week. They stated that their sound is not as fast as Bartcore, but a little cleaner than crusty punk. Now, I'm not really sure I would call these guys metal in the traditional sense of the word, but I mean, what do I know about metal genres? As ridiculous as this is, I gotta give them props for being the first metal band ever. Number 7. The God That Failed. Metallica wrote the song The God That Failed due to Hetfield's mother dying of cancer because she refused treatment due to her Christian beliefs. Hetfield believed that if his mother had not followed her Christian beliefs and rejected treatment, relying on God's healing power alone, that she could have survived. Fun fact, it was also one of Metallica's first songs that they ever tuned down a half step. Now isn't that nice? Number 8. Cattle Decapitation. Cattle Decapitation is thought by some to be one of the weirdest bands in metal, but also one of the most brutal bands by others. The music video for their song Forced Gender Reassignment is thought to be one of the most graphic music videos ever released. Not only was it flagged and removed by YouTube and Vimeo, but pretty much the only place you can find this video is by privately owned websites or if you know someone who downloaded it onto their computers. I mean, yes, it is graphic, but come on, throw a warning label on it and call it good. I just wish that Travis would bring back the beef jerky mask he used to wear. Number 9, Zakk Wylde. Zakk Wylde states that in an interview with OC Weekly, he once went 77 days without showering or brushing his teeth while on tour. He says that he would play a show, get super sweaty, then towel himself off, put on deodorant, and move on. Hey, whatever works for you, man. Tour can be really rough sometimes. Just be thankful you had a shower to go home to. Number 10, Asking Alexandria. In 2011, Asking Alexandria frontman Danny Worsnop was so intoxicated at a show in Seattle, Washington that he couldn't perform at all. Now, of course, there are many bands who have been very intoxicated and unable to perform, but this one is especially hilarious, so I figured I would have to include it. Most of Danny's time spent on stage was either lying on the ground babbling nonsense or picking fights with the crowd. Apparently, people don't like paying good money to be called a pussy and told to fuck off, so they started chanting, "You're a piece of shit, you're a piece of shit," and it just went downhill from there. The guitarist Ben did try to save the show by inviting audience members onto the stage to sing the band's songs because Danny couldn't. After punching multiple members of the audience and making a complete fool of himself, the band did promise to come back and do a free show in the near future. Thanks for watching, guys. If you like this video, go ahead and hit that like button and subscribe to see more. If you know of a fact, underground metal fact that you think is pretty cool, not too many people know about, go ahead and leave it in the comment section below. I'll check it out and maybe you'll see it in the next video. Thanks for watching and have a good day.